Hello! Welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while since I have been able to put up any videos, and you're gonna see a lot of why as I go through what my poor bullet journal has been through this past month. The short version of the story is that I got a new job. I started on April 15th, and I kind of expected the first week to be a little rough, but what has happened is my entire life has kind of been upended, and so I'm really struggling to do anything except for go to work and come home and sleep at night. So that's also part of the reason why I'm not going to do a vlog this month. I don't think anyone's going to be too disappointed because no one was really watching them, but what I am going to do is go through my happiness project stuff first, just in my monthly plan with me, instead of doing a whole separate video with all the vlog footage and all of that. So here we have my yearly notebook, and my happiness project is in here. I have not updated this little chart, but it's probably still accurate. The idea behind this section was that I started with a goal of 5,000 minutes of work on my focus for each month. I realized that was way too much and I lowered it to 3,000, which is doable, but every month I've been up against a different type of obstacle, and I'm not even sure if it's gonna smooth out from here on, so I'm just gonna have to see. So my goal for April was writing. I had intended to participate in Camp NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month, but the light version. The big ones in November. They do smaller camps throughout the summertime. And what ended up happening for this was what happens to me every time I try to write a second draft, and that's I get kind of caught up in the story. I don't like my outline, I don't like where the story's going, and so like always, I tried to re-outline it and I just didn't get very far. As you can see, I did a couple hours of work on this. There's a couple more hours I think that I could fill in here, but I'm definitely not meeting the goal I set out for myself. And a lot of that was because of the new job, but if I'm being honest with myself and with everyone else, it also is just that second drafts are a huge struggle for me, and I'm still trying to figure out how to overcome that obstacle. Now, before I talk about my plans for May, I'm just going to flip to my April page in here. My theme for April was commitment, and I did so badly. I started off really good. I wanted to write every day, journal every day, and create some kind of art every day. And in order to accomplish all of these, you really do need a consistent routine. I filled in my trip. I took a trip right after I started for work, and I expected when I got back to fall into a routine, and that is not what happened. Some of these days, you might have seen in one of my Instagram posts, I was going to sleep at like 8 p.m. because I was just so exhausted. Like I was sitting at my desk falling asleep, I could not stay awake, so I just went to bed. And I'm still trying to get a good routine down. My commute is much longer than it used to be, and by much longer, I mean it's about 40 minutes longer, for about an hour commute each way. So it's a lot to just kind of suddenly drop on my plate, and this was always going to happen in some form, and it did hit me pretty hard. So I'm gonna fill in a little bit of journaling here, but pretty much what happened was I was overwhelmed by everything in my life. I did my best to try and get back on the bandwagon here, but it just didn't stick, and all I can do is try to be better next month. Now for May, my focus here is on money, so I'm going to be thinking of ways I can make my money financial situation better in my life through budgeting and through not buying things I don't need, and the new job is going to help quite a bit with that. But you know, there's all of these mentality things to think about when you're talking about financial wellness. And then my project focus for this month is going to be coding or programming. So I have a number of side projects that involve programming, and so these goals have not really gotten done each month. I probably should have left them blank and filled them in at the beginning of each month so that they would not get so far off like this. But, you know, a couple of them I can probably white out and write in over the top of them. But I think at the very least I can focus on this project. Whether or not I get it finished is, well, it's probably unlikely, but I can put a good chunk of work into it and see where that gets me. And then my May page, I have specific goals, so no unnecessary spending, which I'm going to track in this column here on a daily basis. Create 3 plans for profitable projects, so these might be apps I want to work on, or a Skillshare course, or something that could potentially work as a side hustle, maybe an art project that I think I could sell prints of or something. I want to put in the work to think about these things so that I'm always generating ideas. Review budgets, so especially with my new job starting this month, my budgets are going to be vastly different from what they were, partially because of my commute increase is going to add some expenses, and then also I did get a significant pay raise with the new job. So my budgets are going to be very important this first month. And then finally, as an effort in kind of finding joy in things that I have and in my everyday life, I want to try and do daily art journaling. So I'm just going to be doing some very simple journaling with sketches about my day every day, hopefully. And I think I might do that in my Hippo Noto that I got. Because I have this huge Tomoe River paper notebook and I wasn't really sure what to do with it. It's a bit bulky to be a bullet journal, but I think it might work as like an at-home art journal, especially since I can fit so much in here because of how many pages it has. And that's going to be my happiness project set up for May. Now I'm going to flip through my April pages in this monthly daily bullet journal, and fair warning, it's a bit sparse. Like I said, I was super busy and I just didn't have time for much of anything, and so I did fill in my monthly pages pretty regularly, but other than that, there's not much in here. I liked this page so much that I'm gonna do something very similar for May, almost identical, just with a different pattern in the middle. But pretty much, I just put in this header in the middle, which is the closest thing I've ever done to like a cover page. And on this side, every day I wrote in some gratitude, and I alternated colors so I could see where the days switched off very easily. And then on this side, I put in a summary of what I did that day. And a lot of these are very simple, but I like it because I can read through this one page and get a very quick overview of how the entire month went. For me, it feels a lot more useful than the variations of mood trackers that I've done in the past because they're just very quick and I can read through the whole thing and know exactly how I was feeling on each day just based on what I've written. Next, I have my habit tracker and social media trackers. I have not meditated or put anything on our game company Twitter all month. Everything else is kind of bad as well. I lost my good flossing habit, which is unfortunate since I have a dentist appointment next month. It's just good for you in general. Even the things that I kept up with were kind of a fluke because I started going to bed really early just because I was so tired, not because I was being responsible about getting enough sleep at night. And then I only sporadically tracked the social media stats after I started my job on the 15th here. So you see I wrote, what even is social media? because I felt so far out of the loop at that point, but I'm trying to get back into it, trying to catch up on what I missed on Instagram while I was kind of in my own little world. My goals did not do super well. Like I said, I did not get anywhere near this writing goal. I have been somewhat keeping up with my 100-day project. I need to do some catch up this weekend to hit this 29 out of 100 that I was supposed to get during the month of April, but I am actually pretty close. I think I have close to 20 already, and so I just need to do a couple more every day for the rest of the month, and I should be caught up. And this other stuff I made progress on near the beginning of the month, but I haven't really been able to touch it for the past couple weeks. And then there are 2 of these minor tasks that I'll be able to check off. The knitting is going well. I've been doing a lot of knitting, especially on my trip. And then the Plan With Me video I'm doing right now. Don't look at my writing stats page. We'll just pretend that didn't happen. And then we get into my weeklies and dailies, which started off very tidy. I started missing pieces. I hadn't even started my new job yet, but I was kind of preparing for it at this point. An entire blank page here, which I don't really like. It seems wasteful. So I'll probably use this page for something before I move on to May. And then this was the week I started my new job. A lot of these days I either left out or just like wrote in some words after the fact. Not a lot of things are checked off here. Tuesday was just a bunch of meetings I had to go to, so those are easy to check off, but all of the things that I wanted to do for myself kind of got pushed aside while I focused on this business trip. And then once I got back home, I was recuperating from the trip. And so this is the current week, and because it is so sparse, I'm going to use the rest of the space here to do the couple of days next week that make up the end of April. Today is actually the 27th, so I'm cutting it really close with this video. The month is almost over, but I'm hoping you guys will understand. So for the month of May, what I'm going to do is set up another journal style page right here. It says May in the middle. I'm going to do a companion to my no unnecessary spending, where and a little bit of background on this. So I know, based on how things have been going for me, I know that I'm going to need to make some purchases in May, so just not buying anything isn't going to work. But what I want to do here is, before I buy anything that is not an utter necessity, so like food or bills or housing or something like that, I'm going to write it down here, and I'm going to write down why I feel like I need to buy it and why I feel like I need to buy it right now. And that's going to be justification. It's going to help me see whether something is actually something I need, or if I was just trying to tweak the rules a little bit. So this page is going to keep me grounded. And then this page, I just put all my habit trackers, all my stats, all my social media. I just put it all on one page, just keeping things simple here. And then a goals page right here with a little space for tasks underneath. And then I put a page here to write down notes for next month. So since I am so busy, if there's something I want to do, something I want to remember, a project I'm interested in, I'm going to write all of that down here so I don't have to worry about it right away. So with that, I'm going to get started setting up all these pages, and I'll be back at the end to show you how it went. I didn't talk much about themes or styles for my bullet journal in the introduction here, but what I've decided on for May is kind of like a leafy green sort of theme, focused on both the spring and summer weather that we've been getting here in Oregon lately, and also just an attitude of growth, because this is a point in my life where I'm growing quite rapidly. I have the new job. I'm learning every single day how to fit into that new job, and it's really exciting, and I wanted to put that in my journal. So I did the same thing as last month and just started with May in big letters right in the middle, and then I just decorated around the outside of it. I wasn't sure at first if I wanted to fill in the entire center space with leaves, but as I was going, I decided that would look a lot better instead of trying to fill in text in between all these little empty spaces. I would just fill it with decoration, and then the text would be around the outside. I also opted just to decorate with markers and ink this month. The watercolors seemed a bit heavy-handed. It seemed like a lot of work just to get them out and use them for this. So I'm keeping things simple this month, and I just doodled all of these with fountain pen. I have the new pastel colored Lamy Safaris. This is the green one. I forget if it had a clever name. I know the blue one is called Blue Macaron, and so the green one probably has a cool name, but I can't remember what it was. And the ink I'm using is Robert Oster Evergreen, and it's a really dark, deep green. It really feels like springtime to me. And when I fill this in, I'll probably do the same thing as in April, where I alternate the colors, just so I can clearly see where each day begins and ends without making it a little more clunky with like bullet points or numbers or something. So this page will be gratitude on the left page and a kind of a recap or a summary of my day on the right page. The next page is going to be my spending reasons page. So ideally every time I go to buy something that is more of a luxury item or just a nice to have, I'm going to write it down on this page and then come up with a good reason for why I need it right now, just so I'm not buying things willy-nilly. I mean, I still might. There's no guarantee that I'll actually use this page, but hopefully taking the time to write this down and put it in here with all of my monthly spreads will remind me of my goals for the month and keep me a little bit more accountable. And for decoration, I've just divided the page with some Tombow dual brush pen lines, and to decorate further, I am just drawing out little leaves and little vines that look like they're wrapping around these marker lines, just to make it look a little bit more green. Next is my combined habit tracker, social media tracker, stats tracker, and as usual, I like to keep things with a lot of numbers and information on them very simple, so the only real decoration I've put here is that I've highlighted the weekend days throughout the month, just so I can quickly see where the weeks start and end. Some kind of line around the end of the week is really helpful for me. Both of these pages ended up looking really simple and nice with just a hint of green. And I took a similar approach for my goals page. I just outlined all of my goal sections in green. I wrote in some headers in black, and then to decorate it up a little bit, I drew in little leaves kind of sprouting at different points on these borders, and I started creating leaves that radiated out from these spots, so it kind of looked like the greenery, the growth of the leaves was spreading outwards, and I thought it looked really nice. And because I didn't need to decorate all of it, because I have this kind of illusion of motion, it was really quick to do as well. And after making a quick box for my notes for next month and decorating it just like the goals page, that's all I really had to do for the month of May. Nice and simple. I didn't go overboard with various trackers. Just kept things clean and practical. And as I flip through all the pages that I've just set up, I want to say thank you for watching this video. My schedule is still being ironed out, but I'll definitely be back soon with some kind of video in the next couple weeks. And if you're interested, don't forget to subscribe or check me out on Instagram. Thanks again, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!